Hello friends, in the series on income tax cases, today we will discuss a very important case in which the issue before Jaipur ITAT A bench was that if during the assessment proceedings, assessee give its submissions which are contradictory in nature, but ultimately the assessee also submits the evidences. So whether in that case the addition is justified only on the basis that the assessee has given contradictory submissions during the assessment proceedings. And the second issue was that whether the evidences filed by the assessee can be ignored just by saying that they are self-serving until and unless those evidences are rebutted by the assessing officer. These issues have been taken up by Jaipur ITAT A bench in the case of Dashrath Kumar Sharma versus Income Tax Officer. This case is reported in 134 ITR Tribunal Act page number 539 and the date of the judgment is 17th March 2025. The present case relates to the assessment year 14-15. The assessing officer during the assessment proceedings came to know that there is huge difference in the capital account of the assessee as compared to the previous year. The assessee was issued a notice to explain the difference between the capital account of the assessee as compared to the previous year. The assessee explained to the assessing officer first of all that the assessee has received some monies from his stepfather. Further, the assessee explained that this amount has been received from various relatives of the assessee and some unsecured loans, but the assessing officer alleged that the assessee has not submitted the evidences to support his contention. So the assessing officer made the addition, and one of the ground for making the addition was that the assessee has made some contradictory submissions during the assessment proceedings, so the addition is justified. When the matter was before the CIT appeal, the CIT appeal was also of the considered view that since the assessee has changed his stance during the assessment proceedings, so the addition is justified. In the present case, apart from this amount, which was the reason for the difference of the capital account of the assessee as compared to the previous year, the assessing officer has also made addition for the agriculture income shown in the return of income, and the assessee has also purchased some properties which were less than the stamp duty value, for which the assessee has made the addition under section 56. So when the matter was before the tribunal first of all said that in the present case there is no doubt that the assessee has changed the stance, but ultimately for the gift received from the stepfather, the assessee has submitted the evidences that the stepfather has sold his agriculture land and has given the money to the assessee from that amount. So the tribunal said that in the present case, the assessing officer has made the bald allegation that the assessee has submitted the evidences which are self-serving in nature, but at the same time, the assessing officer has grossly failed in rebuting the evidences filed by the assessee. Meaning thereby that whatever the evidences were filed by the assessee, they were not proved wrong and they were not considered by the assessing officer except by making a bald statement that the evidences filed by the assessee are self-serving. So the tribunal deleted the addition of the amount which was received from the stepfather on the ground that the sufficient evidences has been filed by the assessee, and even if the assessee has changed some stance, so only because of that reason the additions are not justified. As far as the remaining two additions were concerned, the tribunal was of the view that the assessee has not submitted the evidences regarding the explanation that the property purchased less than the stamp duty and for the agriculture income shown in the return of income. So for those purposes and for those additions, the case of the assessee was remanded back to the assessing officer up to that extent. Friends, this case gives a very clear message that whenever we are submitting the submissions before any authority, we should be very clear and firm in ensuring that our explanation is correct. There should not come any situation that we have to change our stance, because the authority has every right to take a negative view against that. But ultimately, if the evidences are filed, those evidences should be appreciated, and before accepting or rejecting the contentions of the assessee, those evidences should be considered in the right perspective. If they are rejected, then they should be properly rebutted by the assessing officer. At the end of this video, once again I am repeating the name of the case. The name of the case is Dashrath Kumar Sharma versus Income Tax Officer, and this case is reported in 134 ITR Tribunal at page number 539, and the date of the judgment is 17th March 2025. Thank you, friends.